Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here. We're so glad you read the article in the Woodworking Networks magazine about designing storage for multi-generational living. And today we have,
I'm Kate Bernyk with Distinctive Design in Toledo, Ohio.
I'm Alana with Optimization Dolls in Charlotte, North Carolina.
awesome. Thank you ladies both so much for joining us. And yeah, let's get the conversation started. So I'm curious, why is multi-generational living showing up more frequently in your design conversations? And how is it changing the way closets are being designed?
I think it's an interesting one. I read an article, I don't know if it's true, this week saying that more people are living at home after 18 with their families and for longer than they did during the Great Depression. I think it's really hard to buy homes right now. Condo prices are through the roof. And so, as people cohabitate for longer, how do you make your space and your home feel more intentional?
Yes, I totally agree. Recently we designed closets for an entire home, which means like three toddlers, they got their own closets. People want to start the habit of being organized young and having the whole family involved, where it's not just falling on the mom or falling on one parent. Being organized is everyone's responsibility.
That's great. And when you know a household's needs will evolve, what design strategies are you recommending to help a closet stay functional over time for the entire lifetime this family is in the home?
The great thing about designing closets for all ages, if you have a toddler, it's easy to, change the adjustable shelves. We have fixed shelves, but you can have like a technician come in and kind of rework the whole closet, or either a mom or a dad can do it. So you can actually grow into the space from an infant, a toddler, to a teenager, and to even an adult if need be.
I think also the way they even there is actually, I think it's on your Inspired Closet website, Jenna. There is a plan that shows how it works for a toddler, a preteen, and then maybe a grown woman, and how that same design can evolve. And I've actually downloaded and I show that to customers with young children all the time because it's a great way to showcase how right now maybe the thin shoe shrine shelves could be for book storage or thin baskets while creating a small profile. But 10 years from now, she can have shoes. A gentleman can have hats as they grow and as they adapt, letting the space change with them.
And
We
also,
have a
what
lot
I
of,
realize is, I'm sorry, were you going to say
oh,
something?
yeah.
Also, what I realize is sometimes, as a parent, you may have children going off to college, but then you may have an elderly parent moving in with you, and then you can also adapt and change the closet to benefit them as well. So, it's just so many options to being organized. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I was
When
going to
it's
say that we have a lot of customers who like to do a custom drill, and that way we don't have any adjustability. They're hanging, it's very fresh, it gives it a finished feel. But when you have a child who's aging, we talk them out of that decision. Um, just making sure that they have that flexibility outside of a service call.
Hmm.
One thing I like to think about too is designing within standards. That way, if I know they have a 24-inch wide section now, that's just shelving. Maybe 2 years down the road, they need some drawers. It's super easy for us to look up that design and order the drawers and schedule a service visit. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's reusing the existing system they have and it can evolve with them.
That's true. You can add a hamper, you can add a pant rack. It can go from a closet for a little girl, and then you can add adjustable shelves as late as for a teenage boy. You have options there to stay organized.
Yep. Pull down
I,
rod if somebody becomes wheelchair bound and can't reach up that high, all those
mhm.
different things.
And
I have
now
a client, right?
organization is the lifestyle. Being organized is the lifestyle now. From your kitchen to your pantry to the laundry room, everything having a place, it just helps you, keep the house together easily. You know, it's a
Lives
trend.
are just so chaotic right now that you don't have time to spend recuperating as frequently. You don't have time to spend hunting for a battery or your kid's other remote. You need to know where everything is because we don't have time to dilly dally. And also, I feel like when you have structures in place, you're able to recuperate faster when mayhem eventually sneaks in.
Hmm. Especially if you have small kids. You're running, you have sports, then you come in, you have events, and you have to get ready quick in the morning and get out the door. If you have those
Mhm.
systems in place, it's easy to maintain organization for everyone.
Absolutely. My boys, we keep on their shelves. They have all their hanging sections and they have drawers in the center. But we keep a basket for each of their sports where then their hockey stuff comes out of laundry, it goes directly into that basket. That way, no matter what, even though it's easier to hang or do something else, they go right to that basket for their events.
Hmm.
This is, yeah.
I also heard of like placing a basket by the steps so that way if everybody's running during the day, that basket goes up the stairs and everybody, well, wherever your bedroom is, to downstairs, upstairs, and everybody gets to put away their stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it helps, it's a landing point, but if you have these systems in place, it helps a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's smart. I like that idea.
Hmm.
So, how do you design one space to work for multiple generations without it feeling cluttered or compromised?
I think keeping it simple, sometimes keeping it
Mm.
simple.
Less is more.
Um, you don't necessarily have to, even though the glass doors are nice, the mirror doors are nice. Um, if it's a single hang, it can change to a double hang. It can go from a triple hang for a baby or for skirts or shorts to a double hang to a single hang for dresses. Just kind of keeping the layout simple and like you said, standard sizes 18, 24, 36. That way, if you need to add accessories, you can add accessories or you can take accessories away.
I agree. I think having also spending, I think when it's multi-generational, you have to spend more time at your initial appointment, kind of questioning how they live, what their day to day looks like, walking them through when you walk in the back door at the end of the day, their drop zones, and sort of finding not their sins, but loosely their messes and how you can save them. Because maybe the coat closet in the back hall needs to be for wrapping paper and a vacuum now. And we're going to keep our coats in our bedroom closet because we don't have this, or we're buying things in bulk at Costco. And so, where are you taking the heat off of other spaces with your intentional design and transferring out what would be standard use for the space?
And
Yeah,
it's
I love
important.
that. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Alana.
And it's important to ask questions because you may be in a warm climate or you may live in a warm climate and you may travel often. Like, let's say you're going from Texas to New York for work, so you may need space for more bulkier items. So asking those questions are really important.
Yeah, I think it's on us as designers. It's our job to make it not feel cluttered. And by having those interview questions, when normally you're just potentially meeting with two people or one person, still, if you're meeting with the head of the household, you have to find out about every single person that will be using and living within that space. So if we're designing with intention and we know that, you know, Aunt Cindy only has dresses and she doesn't have short hang, it won't feel cluttered because we're not giving her things she doesn't need.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What's often overlooked emotionally in multi-generational design?
I think what's really overlooked is, again, just making sure you ask the questions of those hidden spaces that you don't see.
Mhm.
If you're there and the whole family's getting organized, it may be a kid that's away at college that may be coming home permanently. You don't know. You may have a spouse that travels all the time, so they're left with suitcases full of clothes and they may shop and buy more. Just taking the time being personable and kind of asking that question, like, okay, how many people are in your family? Do you travel a lot? Like all those different things, if you don't ask those questions, it could lead to a nightmare on
Mhm.
installation day or when they're putting away things and they're reaching back out. Like, I realized, like, now this is not going to work for us.
I think that we have had one of our fun ones is that everybody has habits in your day to day. And so when you combine two families, you're combining two sets of habits. You have different sleep schedules, you have different wake schedules, you have different laundry patterns, you have all these little menial things. And so it's important not to just ask what they had been doing or what people were doing, but what they intend to do, how they sort of operate in orbits around one another. You were also used to, like for my parents, they didn't have children at home for 10, 15 years. And they're not used to little backpacks and shoes and coats just littered by the back door. And so having to put things in place again to remove that frustration.
Mhm.
Kate, one thing I heard you say too when we first started talking about this is the personalities, the souls of the people who will be using these individual spaces. So if we as designers have the opportunity to learn about who will be in each room, and maybe somebody loves color, being able to give them a special color on their closet, making sure the personalities of each of the users flows through in the designs and the end result that we put together.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. We
Just like the kids' closets we wound up doing, we matched their hardware to their bathroom hardware.
Mm.
It was so super cute. And they were like so proud, like it matched. I'm gonna take care of it, I'm gonna keep it organized. Another important thing when you have two families being combined is to kind of ask questions about, like, for instance, Kate, if I was doing a consultation with you and I'm like, okay, what are the things that bother you? Because generally we don't ask that question because at that moment it's all happy, right? Like we're all like if it's a dad and his two kids and a mom and her two kids and now they're getting together and getting married. We You don't want to pry too much, but I want to know, like, what's your pet peeves? Like, does it bother you to have clothes on the floor, um,
Mhm.
in your space? So that way, when I'm designing both spaces, I can keep that in mind because it's a happy union, but once it gets messy, like people can get really irritated, I feel like.
Natalie, I believe Natalie Dalton said it once at one of our closet conferences, and I think it was the best where I know how you fold your underwear. I know more than some of your best friends know. So I have no problem prying. And I
Mhm.
think that you can sort of premise it like that and they're comfortable to tell you because people will apologize when they get over there. Like, I'm so sorry, it's chaos. And I say, don't be sorry. You wouldn't have called me if it wasn't. Or like, let's
For us
dig into
to
the
see it
chaos.
like
Let's
that.
eat it up. Let's see what's failing. Don't clean your closet before I come. I
Yes.
want to know all of the problems.
Exactly. Like we had
Amen.
a couple recently, we had to switch, like he had the left side and she had the right side, but we had to switch it because they had an open space that you could see when you walked into the bathroom. And she already knows no matter what, he's not going to keep his side tidy. But every time she walks past, she didn't want to see the mess. So she was like, okay, now can we swap the design? And I got it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It made sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Because that would grate at you every day if you're that person who wants it to be pristine. You would go through and you would just feel a little bit of spice towards him.
Yes. What a great example. And my last question, what does future-proof storage really mean for families today?
I think
I
that
think
everybody who's doing a custom closet, even on the simplest end, is still investing in themselves and their home and their future. And so I think that the future planning is giving them freedom and peace and comfort in that investment.
Mhm.
Lets them grow and lets them grow confidently, increases their home value, and it makes what is a combining time more logical.
And like Kate said, it is an investment, but it's an investment that you can be proud of. The same way your kitchen brings value, so does your closet. Having enough drawers, having enough shelves for your shoes, like all of that's important. If you need, to leave a few inches at the top to store seasonal stuff like, your seasonal hats and gloves and things you don't use all the time. Like custom closets are, it's to make your home a home.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a place to put everything, your house would be it would be a hot mess. But in the process, what I think people should understand, it is an investment, but don't just look at the price because you are spending that money. Not saying get what you want, but get what you need. Like custom closets, they start out as a box, right? And then you have all these different layers. So like take the time to really go through the layers so so your clients really understand that you care. It's not just a quick sale that you're trying to make. Um, and ask those questions. Do they have a lot of jewelry? Ask about collections, ask about memorabilia. Do they keep certain things in their closet that they hold on to, wedding dresses and all those type of things. Like ask those questions, so that way they can still grow into the space. Because when you first install a custom closet, they still will grow into it for years and years, whether they're a child or an adult.
I feel like
Absolutely.
I had mine for 6 months and I adapted it for winter.
Right.
I'm
Hmm.
going to different shoes, I'm shuffling. And so it for me, it's a seasonal adjustment. I change the shelves, I change which baskets go where.
Hmm.
And I do the same with my boys.
I
Hmm.
So you
think
like
too
start
when
with that framework.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when people are choosing to work with us, they're choosing us for the future too, because we're going to be there when they need a change. I had a
Hmm.
client recently, I installed a master closet for them. It was a very big space. They ended up doing an addition and they're moving their son into a different area of the house. So we took that master closet, broke it down, and created it into two different closets using those components. So yeah, I think when they're trusting us to deliver that first project, we're there for the second, third, and fourth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like when you buy a used car for your first kid. They're gonna come back to you for their second kid or when when they need a car, when mom and dad needs a car, that's the way it is. And you're gonna go back like family. They're gonna call
Mhm.
you back. If you did the closet today, 2 years later, they may call you for the pantry. I just scheduled a consultation with a doll we installed, I think in like 2000. We did two closets and now like we're going back and we're doing so, you'll grow with the family as well.
We are their
Absolutely.
future.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us here today and following along.
On to Instagram, give us a follow. We'd love to have you.
And if you're not a member, we would love to have you as a member of the ACSP.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys.